Hi everybody, welcome back to my Flosstube. My name is Rachel and this is Lemonade Stitching. It's been about 2 weeks since my last update and I have a ton of stuff to share with you guys. So I'm going to go through all of my stitching related stuff first and then I'll do my life update at the end just like I did in my last video. I do have a full set of stuff to show you. FFO, finishes, whips, starts, some new haul-ish stuff, and yeah, I'm very excited. I'm super pumped for fall, so it's got me right back in my stitchy bug. It was gone a little bit over the summer, but I am full swing back into stitching. I came home every single day from work just like so excited to stitch. So let's get into what I did this week. For FFO, I don't have it with me because I forgot it at work, but it is the September finish for my Croquette A Go-Go monthly series. I think the patterns themselves are called like a window in time or something like that, and it's split into 3 sets of 4. So I am on September, which is in the last set, part 3, and this is how I finish it. I'll have a picture up for you. I finished it just like July and August. I did like a reddish, like a dark red background that I had in stash, and I just mounted the fabric in the piece on sticky board, and I put a couple of magnets on the back, and it is hanging on my desk at work. I was so excited to get this done. I think I posted on Instagram about it too, so you can see it there. Yeah, I did a post, not a story about that. So yeah, that is September, fully finished, very exciting. I knew I wanted to finish that this week since it is September 2nd, but I didn't think I was gonna make any other finishes, and I actually have 2. So first is the Maloka Designs Mystery Cell that I've been working on. This little squirrel. I still don't know if it's a squirrel or a chipmunk, to be honest. But regardless, it is done and I'm so excited. I was actually pretty far behind. I had all of part 6 and some of part 5 to do, which is like basically from the paws up to the top of the ears. But I started working on this and I was just like, you know, this is going pretty quick, kind of ready for it to be done, because it's not necessarily like my style. I'm not gonna like hang it up in my house. So I was like, I just want it to be out of the bin. I know I'm gonna have some other projects that I'm starting or want to start, so I was just ready to get this done. So I worked on it for a couple days in a row and got it all done yesterday, Saturday. Oh, today's the 3rd, not 2nd. But regardless, so this is all finished and I'm very excited about it. It's on 14 count pink Ada that I had in stash, and I used all of the called for DMCs. And there's only one mistake in it that I know of, but thankfully I made it on the very center of the pattern, so it didn't matter. Like, 'cause since it's a mandala, obviously everything has to be like the same on both sides. But I made it in the very center, so I just left it and said, yeah, looks great. So that is that. And then my other finish was technically a start and a finish, but it's just this little design. I honestly don't know the significance behind it, but my coworker asked me if I can make a patch for her husband's backpack. And this is what she asked for. So I stitched this up really quick yesterday, and it's just on a piece of scrap, like an oatmeal 14 count Ada, and I stitched it with a stash red floss. It was one of my flosses that wasn't labeled, so I have no idea if it's DMC or not, but I did this 3 strands, so it'd be nice and puffy and thick, and it turned out great. I stitched this up for a few hours yesterday and just did the whole thing, and I stitched it in hand. I'll talk about it on the next project too, but I've been practicing stitching in hand a little bit. I don't think it's my fave, but I also don't completely hate it. I think it has its place. Like for something so small like this, I couldn't put this piece of scrap in a hoop, but I still was able to use it. But yeah, so this is finished. I haven't 100% decided how to fully finish it. So if anyone has ever made a patch, let me know. I'm just scared to ruin it. So I could use my sewing machine and do like a really tight zigzag stitch, I think, and then just cut right on the edge of the zigzag stitch. I thought about like doing like a fold on the edge type of situation and hand sew it. I thought about doing where you like pull the horizontal threads so that the vertical threads kind of fray a little bit, but I'm nervous because you can't go back from that. So TBD on what the best way is to finish the fabric, but then whenever I decide that, I'm gonna put some heat and bond on the back, and hopefully that will suffice for a little homemade patch. I'm like flipping it around. I don't even know if I fully showed it to you. I hope the color's okay. Again, it's so bright in here that I can't really see my camera. It's just backlit, so I hope you can see everything. All right, so those are my two finishes. Next, I have one other whip that I worked on that was not a finish, and that is Friends. And so this was actually my pick-a-whip for this week. I don't remember when Marjorie posted her video, but if you never played pick-a-whip before or you haven't seen my videos, it is a game that Marjorie from Marjorie Made started, where she picks a prompt out of a jar every couple of weeks whenever she posts her video, and it just leads you to pick up a project you may not have thought to pick up. So mine, let's start with what the prompt was this time. It was a sad, sad start, and I didn't have any like whips in my rotation that had a sad, sad start. Everything had a pretty good amount of work on it. I have since found some in my like stash bin, but we're not gonna worry about that. But yeah, so sad, sad start. I chose to work on Friends though. I did a little interpretation of the prompt because this is Friends and I've had it for a long, long time. I never pull it out to work on it. I honestly don't like working on it because it's just huge blocks of color, and it makes me kind of sad to work on, but it also makes me sad that I don't like to work on it. And it also makes me sad because it's getting a little dirty. A couple months ago, before I moved down to Lexington, I rinsed off the grid lines that I had put on a few years ago to help with like the stitching of the characters, like the outlines. And you can kind of still see them. They left like an orange brown tint. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but that also makes me sad because I'm like, well, that wasn't supposed to happen. It was a water soluble pen. So I don't know if those will come out when I wash the project or not, but regardless, all that to say, I interpreted this to be my pick-a-whip of the week or two. So yeah, so this is Friends. I finished Joey. So Joey had a little bit of white left in his shirt, and then both of the stripes, and then I moved on to Chandler and started on his hair. I only worked on this for one night, but this is the other project that I have been trying to practice my hand stitching on. I just decided, my stitching in hand, I decided that I wanted to try it. A couple of weeks ago I had thought about it, and I was like, well, I'll have to start a whole project and it'll be like a whole separate thing, because obviously you don't really want to start in the middle of a piece, especially if it's a thing you've never done before, and I didn't want my tension to be weird and whatnot. But with this, this really isn't a project I care a lot about, and I'm probably just gonna turn it into a project bag, so I honestly don't even mind if it's imperfect. And because of these big blocks of color, I thought it was a good project to practice it on. And it's going okay. It definitely goes by quicker when I do that, so I will be doing that from now to the end of the piece. So there is Friends. And honestly, I'm thinking of setting myself a goal to finish this by the end of the year. And I think with stitching in hand, and if I just put my mind to it, I can do that. Because I have less than 2 characters left, so yeah. And if we end up driving home for Christmas, or I know we're driving to Graham's family for Thanksgiving, this is a good project that I like to work on in the car. So I think we can do it, finish Friends by the end of the year. Yeah, so that's the only whip that I worked on that you guys have seen before, but I have a new start that you guys have obviously not seen, and it is fall. I didn't show you, well, you don't need to see the cover photo for Friends, we're past that. Anyway, Autumn in the City, or Fall in the City by Croquette A Go-Go. And this is the cover of the chart. I hope it's in focus. And it's gorgeous. And I showed this a few videos back as like just a acquisition that I added to my stash when I got it from a Facebook D-Stash group at the same time as the Croquette A Go-Go monthly series. But I really didn't have plans to start it. I wanted to start it, I bought fabric for it, but I didn't have any solid plans of when I was going to start it. And if you've never seen Lauren, the New Hampshire Stitcher, she's been planning a sale all summer called #BaptToSchool, which stands for Big Ass Project or Big Awesome Project, whatever you want to use. And she was starting it September 1st for back to school season. And I wasn't gonna participate because when I first heard about it, I didn't have anything that I really wanted to start, or like a huge project I wanted to start. I had a number of whips going, and then I just never really thought about it again. But I was watching probably Marjorie's video a week or two ago, and she was talking about it and what she was doing for it, and I was like, you know what? I have this that I could start. So I impromptu decided to do it, like literally August 27th, I think, 26th. So I only had a couple of days. I went through my floss and I had maybe 4 colors that it called for. But thankfully the first color you need is white. So I was able to start it, and I very quickly placed a 1-2-3 stitch order that actually got delivered yesterday. So we're doing good on time. And yeah, so I started this Friday night. I've worked on it just Friday night. But I did get a good amount done. We don't do much. We don't go many places, so I had a nice night in. And this is my start on autumn. I forget if it's supposed to be autumn or fall, but Autumn in the City. So I've started the frame and little fence. And these white parts are gonna be mushrooms. So I gotta like hide my face when I hold these up because the focus just wants to focus on my face. So yeah, loving this. And this is on 32 count taupe. Yeah, 32 count taupe Lugana. Autumn in the City, literally says on my little tag. And I bought this at Keepsakes earlier in the summer. At the same time I bought the fabric for the monthly series. So yeah, very excited about this new start. I love it. It's gorgeous. Lots of oranges. Oh, I have most of the flosses are in this bag actually with my 1-2-3 stitch order. So orange and lots of white, some green and purple. So I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited to see it come together. I think this is going to be the largest project I've ever done. Well, no. I think my crest that I made for Graham for Christmas was probably bigger, but definitely the largest of this type of project. So yeah, so that is Autumn in the City, and super excited about it. And at the same time that I ordered the flosses, I also ended up ordering some new needles and a new embroidery hoop from 1-2-3 Stitch, just cause, you know, sometimes you need more stuff. So that is what I got. And that is all my stitching that I did this week. But I have some new fabric to show you. I think I mentioned this in my last video, but last Saturday I did a fabric dyeing class at the Lex Creative Reuse store. So I have the fabric that I made, and most of it is like, but there is one piece that I'm really excited about. And so I'll tell you about the different like techniques we used and stuff, because I was very scared at first. I'd never dyed fabric before. It's been years since I did tie-dye, but I get worried about ruining things or like making the wrong choice, and then you're just stuck with that color. And so it really helped me like get out of my comfort zone a little bit. And I got to like test out a lot of different techniques on some little scrap pieces. So it also wasn't my own fabric, so you know, it was good. It's a good little exercise, and I'm really happy I went. So I'm gonna show you what I did. So, and I'll show it by like category. So not the first category we did, but the first one I'll show you was we used like spray dyes or spray inks to spray the fabric. and that was how we got the dye in the fabric. And the other thing that I kind of knew but also learned was that Aida and linen take dye very differently. So that is like one thing to keep in mind. So anyway, so this is a spray technique, and I wanted to get like a very naturally like brownish color. And so this is my first little scrap that I have. It honestly doesn't look like much. It had a lot more variation in it when it was wet and before I rinsed the color out, but it's just a tannish bookmark, so that's what this is gonna be. And then I also have a little piece of green that has a little more variation in it, and I think for these I sprayed them down with water first and then sprayed the dye so that it would kind of spread out a little more rather than be a super dark color. Don't know what that'll be, some sort of small or maybe a Christmas ornament or something. Then probably one of my favorite techniques, even though the pieces didn't come out so fantastic, was the shaving cream method. And for that we put shaving cream down on the table, and then we put we sprayed dye or did droppers of like tie-dye, whatever, onto the shaving cream and then swirled it around, and then we would press the fabric into it and scrape the shaving cream off. And so the first piece I did like that is this blue-green swirl, and it actually has a little bit of, and like block my face, a little bit of gold sparkle in there from like a puffy fabric paint that I put in. It looked a lot better when it was fresh again. I wonder if I have a picture, I'll put it in. It looked a lot better when it was brand new before I rinsed it and ironed it, but that's okay. We live and we learn. The other thing that happened with all of these was I rinsed them out until the water came clear, and then I pressed them with an iron just like I was supposed to. But there was still a lot of dye, so the dye was all over my fabric, my ironing board. And honestly, I think I got some dye on here that was not supposed to be. So not perfect by any means, but so there's one bookmark, and then I also did a purpley pink one with gold swirl again. So that is this one, and this is a linen. Don't know what size. The ones I've showed you so far were Aida, and this is a piece of linen. Again, I'm just gonna make a bookmark, something simple. Good practice. These also, none of the pieces were serged when we did this, so would highly recommend serging your fabric before you dye it, because rinsing it out with the fraying edges and pressing it was not an enjoyable experience at all. And then this is my last shaving cream one, and this one I actually do really like. This is a tan marbly one, and it's got like a bronze coppery color mixed in as well. This is a linen, and it's a little bigger, so not sure what I'll put on here yet, but I really like how this one came out. And then my least favorite by far was when we used a jelly roll. And so if you've never seen a jelly roll before, I think it's normally used for like printing, and it's like sticky and whatnot. And so we use that, we put the ink right on the jelly roll, and then we like moves it around with the that roller thing that you use for printing. I don't remember what that's called. And then we press the fabric into it. And in my mind, that was again gonna make a nice like swirly kind of situation, but it really just made huge blotches of color, which are not my vibe. And we also, I like don't want to show you this one. We also attempted to layer it, so like you do the first set of color, see where you want more, do it again, see where you want more, do it again. And so this is how mine came out. I wanted to do like a fall vibe, so my vision was like something like this or something like this, but like orangey red. I was not expecting the blotches, so that really threw me off a lot. And then I tried to layer in some brown to give it some something, I don't know what. And then it just got very gross. And I honestly think this one too got some dye on it that maybe it wasn't supposed to, not sure. And I also don't like it because the thing with Ada is the dye kind of picks up on the crosshairs. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but like you can see the pattern of the Ada in the dye, and I didn't love that. So least favorite method by far, but glad I tried it and got out of my comfort zone. I have no idea if I'll end up using this. I might just dye it all brown. We'll see. But my last piece that I have to show you guys, or last piece of fabric, which actually turned out so good. I was really excited and then really worried and then really excited again, is the ice dye. And so the packet was a tulip red, but it ended up coming out hot pink. And so this is what it looks like. This is one side and this is the other. And I have no idea what I'm gonna put on here, but the first thing I thought of when I was rinsing it out was like, this reminds me of Marjorie so much and her hot pink. And so I literally sent her a photo. I was like, I had to show you this. It reminds me of you. Kind of reminds me of, I think it's Cam's original like fabric and hot pink thread combo that she came up with. I do not remember what it is, but I think Cam and Marjorie and possibly Bridget also are stitching with that or have stitched with that. I apologize if I'm saying that all wrong, but somebody has a hot pink fabric and a hot pink thread combo, and this reminded me of that. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. There's also, I'm trying to remember the piece that it was. I think it was the black butterfly sampler that Marjorie, and I think Bridget, and maybe Megan started too. Maybe Cam. I don't remember who all started it, but I think they started it for Bridget's like Flosstube anniversary / birthday. I don't know. I'm all over the place. I haven't done my homework, obviously, but they started the black butterfly sampler. And I don't know if it'll fit on here, but I think Marjorie's doing just the butterfly half and not the alphabet half. So possibly something like that, like just black on here. Not too sure, but I definitely want to do something. And again, this is linen, no idea what count. It was probably 32-ish when we started, but I know it shrinks sometimes with the dye, so I'll have to measure it. But yeah, so I'm super happy with that turned out. And then while that was ice dye, I think I said, so then obviously while all the ice was melting, there was a whole tray of liquid dye underneath it, and so I ended up making some floss. And so this was just white DMC. I don't even know if you'll be able to tell. This was a white DMC that I literally just kept in its, not with the papers on it, but I kept it like wound up on each other, and I just put it in the pink dye and let it sit there for a while, and then I rinsed it out. And it has some slight variation to it, which is nice. It's not super solid, but it also isn't super different throughout it. So nice little pink floss to add to stash. And then I also did a purpley one, and this is how that one came out. And it's a purpley pinkish blue color. And for this one, I had it kind of like bunched up on the table, and I squirted some dark blue tie-dye that was already made in a little bottle, and I squirted it on some of it, left some of it white, and then I dipped the other part that wasn't blue into the pink dye, and I let it all kind of mix together, so it became this purpley, pinkish, bluish thing. And then obviously it was like wound up on itself in the baggie, like drying, so the color merged more. I don't know why, I can't think of the right word. And then when I rinsed it out, this is what we were left with, and I really think it's cute. Don't know what it'll be for, but I have it to add to stash. And I think, oh, the other thing I did, this is gonna be longer than my normal videos, is I serged all of my scrap fabric this week. I went to the library yesterday with one of my friends from work, and we used the serger in the makerspace. So this whole thing is serged and ready to be used. This is all my like fabric. So I'm very excited. So one of my goals for the next couple of weeks is to go through my patterns and see what I want to start or kit up. Yeah, so very excited about that. I'm just checking my notes to see if I mentioned everything I wanted to. I think the last thing I have to share is that I'm going to be doing the hashtag golden kit sale. Cam from Cam Stitcher is starting this on September 28th, or just like the end of September, she said. And basically it's for her birthday, and what you're supposed to do, it's her golden birthday, actually, very important. What you're supposed to do is start a project that you have kitted up that is just like really special to you or beautiful or whatever, and you've been too scared to start it. I forget what piece she was talking about, but basically she has this project that she bought so quick and is so excited and has all the stuff ready to go, but she's been too scared to start it and ruin it. And I also have that. And so I'm gonna be participating in that in the end of the month. I'm nervous, I'm not ready, but I'm gonna be participating with my Celtic Christmas piece. And if you've never seen this before, this was gifted to me by someone who watches my videos and follows me on Instagram. So thank you, Jane, again. But this is where it is currently. This is how I received it for Celtic Christmas. And I really, really want to work on it. I'm just so scared to ruin it. But I'm gonna push myself, and we're gonna start it at the end of the month. I know, it's just so freaking pretty. Her face is gorgeous. The whole thing is gorgeous. I just need to check to see if I need any more floss. She sent me some floss and beads, but I don't think it's not all of the floss. So I need to check what I need, and I need to get that. So this is ready to start for the hashtag golden kit sale. Yeah, that is all my stitching stuff. So if you want to hear a life update, stick around for a couple more minutes. If not, thank you so much for watching. I've been a lot more active on Instagram lately, so if you want to keep up with me there, please give me a follow if you want. It's Lemonade Stitching. And yeah, I've just been trying to post a lot more stories and posts and whatnot of what I've been stitching, especially since I've been stitching. So yeah, I'm trying, so definitely give me a follow. I follow a lot of people back. I need to go through and do that again because I've been bad at it this summer. But I love seeing what everybody's working on and getting to interact with people and stuff like that. So anyway, life update. Since my last video, we went on vacation with my family, which was super, super fun. It was the perfect, like, relaxing week. I just sat by the pool, read some books. I finished 2 books. I didn't go to the beach, even though we were a mile from the beach, but I just like wasn't in the let's get sandy mood. So the pool was perfect for me. I had lots of clam chowder, some fish. I don't like a lot of seafood, but I do like a good fish fry, clam chowder, shrimp. So I was enjoying that. Graham had a lot of lobster, which he loved. And yeah, the only down part was everyone got sick right after vacation. Graham has been homesick all week with COVID, so he's better now, thankfully, and I am so thankful I did not get sick. But I was wearing my mask all week and praying that I would not get COVID and have to miss work anymore. So that was super fun. It was a bummer, but we're good now. He's all better, so that is all perfect for us. This is Labor Day weekend, so it's a nice 3-day weekend. Our anniversary is actually on Tuesday, so we're just kind of hanging out at home. We were gonna go somewhere for an anniversary trip, but we figured since we just got back from vacation, we'd take more of a staycation, and we'll probably just go out to a nice dinner and celebrate our anniversary at home. 1 year of dating. My mom needed that clarified, so if anyone's wondering. We've been dating for a whole year on September 5th. And the other exciting thing that happened this week is I signed up for the waitlist for StitchCon weekend A. I was going back and forth on if I was gonna do it just with like the financial obligation, but then I was like, you know, let's go. Let's do it. You don't have to pay the invoice till October, and then, you know, whatever. So I was like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna save up the pennies and we're gonna go to StitchCon weekend A, hopefully. I submitted my form at like 12:01, so I'm really hoping to be at weekend A. I know Marjorie and Cam both said they were gonna go try and go weekend A, so my camera just cut off, but saying that, I'm hoping I can go meet some people in person, and I'm just so excited. And then the other thing I did this week was I joined a new like stitchy Facebook group, or it actually might have been right before vacation, I can't remember. But I think it was Stoner Creek Stitcher. I should have checked, I apologize. But she posted if there was any like Central Kentucky people to join like a Facebook group. And so I joined it, and I guess they do like little meetups around Lexington, so I'm super excited to go. I haven't been able to go yet because the first one that I was in the group for was when I had that fabric dyeing class, and then obviously with Grant being sick this week, I wasn't gonna go to anything or risk like getting anybody sick. So hoping to do that within the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm excited to meet more stitchy friends and just more friends in general. But yeah, other than that, that is really all I have to share. Just, you know, chugging along, going to work, coming home. That's about it. But yeah, I hope you guys all have a great couple of weeks until I see you in my next video. Like I said, follow along on Instagram. I love interacting with people on there. And also, I forgot to say this last time, but I have a Google Doc linked in my description box if you want to see any of the details for any of my projects, either the ones I didn't mention or ones I finished earlier this year. So check that out if you have any questions, or leave a comment. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.